these bullets aren't meant for you.
I love the respect.
Close my eyes and put my glove out in front of me.
Yeah, man, that is a good pick.
I played the Urukai music, and
Yeah.
it's just like, this is what I'm gonna run to for 14 hours straight. Just like,
First one hit to me, just shit pissed down my
yeah,
leg.
goosebumps just thinking about that's inside of
Yeah,
you.
like, oh, I need to make room with this guy.
I
He's
need to
gonna be
make
doing
room
this
with all
extra
this
shit.
bullshit in this guy's
Yeah.
body. But thank you guys for joining the MattCast podcast. I am Matty Light, joined by my co-host Matty J. We got a new camera set up. I think I'm this one right here.
Yeah.
And yep,
Yep.
yep,
For now, we'll see how this goes. We might try to fix it up a little bit
yeah.
differently. Because I think this little tripod
This
actually
little
might
light of
work.
yours.
Yeah, this little light of mine might actually work.
Yeah.
So
And we can kind of just have one for me right here and then one for you right there.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, sick. Yeah, we're trying different things for you guys just to get, you know,
Well, then
I don't know.
since you moved out,
Yeah.
this room has always been a clutter. We always had those chairs that line the window that we just
Yeah.
never really used. Piece of junk. I wanted to get rid of this whole table. But we took out one of the leaves here,
Yeah.
made it shorter, a little bit more of an intimate space.
Yeah. Where I feel
And
like I'm
then
right
yeah,
next to
and
you.
it's less clutter. I moved the dog cage and we can have our bullshit. We got a nice bookshelf here. That's where the cameras are actually sitting on,
Yeah.
and the shelves are going to be where the
Mhm.
podcast equipment lives
Yeah.
too. So, but yeah, and it's gonna get more and more different because we're thinking about for the other podcast actually doing recordings for that
Oh,
one
okay.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and actually put up cameras as well.
yeah, yeah. So, because we've been doing that one a lot more consistently. So,
Well, I need to start listening on that one.
mhm.
Um,
Well, we did talk about your thing, your little experimental. I don't know if experiment, but your challenge, your race.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
I did just post a video today.
yeah.
So for anybody
Yeah,
watching,
just want to talk about it real quick, just
yeah,
because you already did a video. It's going to be its own thing on this
yep,
channel. Is your training your? I mean, you're
yeah.
probably going to see a side of you that is very maybe vulnerable because like
Mhm.
you've never done any. What's the longest you've ever run?
5
And
miles is the farthest I've ever ran.
see, I thought you were gonna tell me like 10. I was like, all right, that's
Nope.
yeah,
But I mean, I did
7 months of training,
6 months, 188 days,
6 months.
starting today, and I already did first training. I recorded that training.
Yeah,
Fun thing that like when that video comes out, I'll just tell sneak peek for you guys,
sure.
dude. I
Even though it's
pretty
already out,
yeah.
and then we're
No,
recording
no.
this
So
after.
like this is like for the recordings of my actual training.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Is that started to stretch out, dude, and the area I started stretching, like I saw a raccoon run away from it,
yeah, yeah.
and then this raccoon just started circling me,
Oh, really?
and I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And I even said to the camera, like, "Do I need to shoot this thing? Like, does this
Yeah.
have rabies coming to kill me or something?"
When you go on because you run around your neighborhood,
I went to a park.
you went to a
I'm not
park.
undisclosed park, so
Sure.
yeah.
Do you carry anything with you?
I had like that camelback I used to wear when we did airsoft,
Yeah, yeah.
and I had like first aid hoodie.
Mm,
Well, I was wearing a hoodie, but I had an extra one just in case.
yeah.
And also just padding too. I wanted it to be full so it'd sit a little bit more snug.
Mm. Because I'm
Um,
assuming whenever you do this 50-mile race, you're gonna have to have some supplies.
yeah, I'm trying to get my hands on a fanny pack and then one of those runner's vest.
What type of fanny pack do you want or have?
I don't have any fanny pack, so I need to go get one.
Bryce, I mean, you can come to. I might have one that might
Ooh,
have.
edit
What?
your work.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
I didn't say come to my. I just said come to.
yeah,
But yeah, yeah,
yeah,
cut. Yeah,
yeah. 3 minutes.
yeah. New record for fastest. Um, but yeah, I mean, look around for
Yeah.
different brands first because I don't
Well,
know if maybe the
I
one
just
I'm
wanted one big
suggesting.
enough to hold my piece, my wallet, my keys, and some Zyn.
Yeah.
And like I've used your fanny pack when
Hmm.
taking Jules for a walk, and I've carried my piece in it just fine. So,
Yeah. I got
um,
another one. I got another fanny pack that I haven't even used yet.
yeah,
But I mean, because I've been looking, if you want that one, it's it's not perfect, but it's
no,
not bad.
no.
Like there's a whole bunch of
But yeah,
compartments and
fanny
stuff.
pack, and like I saw a lot of people when I've gone to like support other people's like half marathons or marathons,
Mm.
they all have like these runner's vest deals.
So yeah, let me ask you. I guess we're doing a little interview of you. Why didn't you start smaller? Like an ultra marathon is
So
quite because like most guys half marathon, maybe a
build it up.
3K,
Yeah.
5Ks, a marathon, and even I feel like a marathon. If from 6 months away, coming, no offense to you, coming off the couch,
Yeah.
6 months away from a marathon seems like a strong feat of its own.
Yeah.
Now double that,
Yeah.
and that's where
Yeah.
you're at.
So basically when my brother hit me up about it,
Hmm.
we were talking about it and I was like trying to tell him and say like, dude, like I don't know if I could do that with that short of time.
Yeah,
And but like with every argument that I was saying, he was like, but see, you're still active at work. You're still walking around doing stuff. You're on your feet most of the day.
sure.
And it's just like, and I realized that on my first run, I didn't feel terrible
Yeah.
either. Like my legs weren't dead. My
Mm,
back didn't tight up right away. Got a little bit tight at the end, but I just had to stretch it out. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's not too bad. I
yeah.
just needs to stay on top of it. Um, but yeah, he kind of turned every argument I was coming up with as why I can't into why you can,
Mm.
and got myself thinking like, well, shit, maybe I can do this.
Did he have the thought of maybe that because I mean, how long has your brother been running and doing? Because I know he's
Probably close to a year. He did this, the 50 miler that I'm doing in
yeah.
October. He did that last year.
Was that his first
That was
race?
his first race.
Really?
Yeah,
He didn't do any marathons or
I don't
anything?
believe so.
Wow.
And
Okay.
him and my oldest brother did it together.
Mm.
And so they're like, all right, cool, let's do it. Let's knock it out. And I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Like all
Because I've
three
been
brothers, yeah,
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 I wanted like because I've always wanted to do like a half a marathon or something just to
so
kind of like just build up into it, just one
yeah,
of those like fun runs. You get like the little cheap ass medal
yeah.
and shit like that.
Well, I put that in the announcement video. I was like, maybe I can get Matty J to join me in like a half marathon.
So okay, I will join you in running. I have no problem training with you.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not doing 50 miles
No, no.
like
And
in
I'm
less than
like,
6 months.
when I do the 50 miler, I'm taking a week off from running
Oh,
and then I'll
yeah.
try and stay consistent with it. But by
Yeah.
that point, it's going to be late October
Yeah.
into November. And I'm like, now it's just going to be cold out and I'll hate my life and I don't want to run.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be, I'll try and get a treadmill for inside and just try
Yeah.
and run inside.
I mean, knowing you, you have the stubbornness and the competitiveness to do it.
Yeah,
The issue, maybe not issue, the concern I have
is my
is
previous injuries.
that's
Yeah.
a big one. And I mean, to be your friend, how you currently treat your body. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
A lot of alcohol, you're working construction, which is not easy on the
No.
body. I don't think you're as consistent as a gym whenever you were living here. Um,
No, I
just
definitely been
stuff like
slacking,
that.
and I even
Yeah.
said that too. It's just like I've been slacking, but this is something like a challenge for me.
To get you definitely to get that, like
Yeah,
I think you kind of lost maybe a little bit of that of just like not motivation, but just a little bit of like, why am I training? Is there
yeah,
anything that I really need to be, you know?
training up for. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, you know what? I'm getting too comfortable. I needed this. I
Yeah,
needed something to kind of get me off my ass because like I've been training here and there, but it's never been consistent.
exactly. Yeah.
And so, and like I've been wearing my watch when I do the workouts in the gym, but like,
Mm,
or the home gym. Um, and so it's just like, you know what? Yeah, this is something to get me consistent. I'm able to build up a milestones of where I need to be at
mm,
certain times. Like at 2.5 months, I want to at least attempt the half marathon for time.
yeah.
Um,
Is this race timed?
yeah, 14-hour cap for 50 miles.
Wow. Where's the
16:45. It's just like
maybe
20 minutes north of us.
okay, that's I was gonna maybe off camera we can
Yeah,
talk because
yeah.
I'm interested on the train because me and Aaron talked about it on the Bonzo Boys
Hmm.
and we were just looking into it and I mean some of those races I mean between like
Yeah,
5 and 50 hours
yeah.
and I was just like Jesus Christ.
So the brother that's been doing all the running said like this is a fairly like long time
Yeah.
for a 50-mile race, like the ones that he's seen.
Mm,
So that's why he invited me and Vince, who have not been training
yeah.
as regular as he does. Like Sunday, he ran 23 miles just casually. Right after the day before, he was doing concrete.
Mhm.
laying concrete. I'm like, all right, cool. Make me feel like a bitch.
Yeah,
Let's do this. Like,
yeah,
and it was like, all right, now I have to try.
yeah.
Um,
When you ran that first, the longest you said you ran was 5 miles.
that was
Can
in
you
basic training.
Yeah, can you think back to that, like, how you felt afterwards? Did you feel?
Oh,
Because I
I
feel
was,
like you're training for a lot I mean, you're in
yeah,
basic training, so it's not like they just right off the bus, "Hey, drive your gear and
no,
go," you
no,
know?
yeah. It was, I felt good at the end of that. Like, obviously it sucked, but I'm
Mm,
just like, I was fine. My legs were good underneath me. Someone did shit while on the run and it just went down his legs and it was like a couple people in front of me
yeah.
and like the people in front of me got splattered and then they all ran off to the side.
Didn't Nate have a story about that too?
I think so.
And he just and it was just, like, in the clothes that he was wearing,
Yeah,
he just kept them on.
kept going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but, like, he was
Um
wearing, I think, like, sweatpants or
Actually no,
something.
I ran 6 miles.
You're in 6 miles?
Yeah, yeah. That one was in Colorado though, so like I was
Elevation
yeah,
and
that really killed me. That
yeah,
one I was dead for just because I was up and down mountains the whole time pretty
yeah.
much.
That's the
Um
nice thing. That's one of the things I was like, you're gonna have like a rolling hills, I'm
yeah,
sure, but there's not gonna be a big
no.
incline.
Um And the one thing that kinda gave me the confidence too is that, like, I can still ruck with 45 pounds
Mm,
at a sub 15-minute pace,
mm,
almost 14-minute pace,
mm,
and so I'm like, "Alright, cool, like, that's with weight and boots,
mhm,
pants." I'm doing this with a whole lot less weight
mm.
and with actual running shoes.
Sure.
If I keep that same strategy of how I handle rucks
Mhm.
and just train that way, maybe I can actually fucking get this.
Yeah.
Like, as long as I can hold a 60-minute mile pace, whether some minutes or some miles are like 18 minutes and some are 15
Yeah.
where I'm really kicking it. Yeah, that's my plan and like I'm trying to find parks with lots of hills and lots of turns. Golf courses are the best so far that I found
Huh.
because like they have rolling hills and they have turns and they have little circles that come back around to a trail, follow the main road and then another
Mhm.
kick off to somewhere else. I'm like golf courses are the way to go
Yeah.
for training up until I can actually find a good trail nearby.
This neighborhood isn't bad, but it has, like, some decent hills
Yeah.
and stuff like that, so, like, that's what I've been like, so from I've made a track that is an exact mile from when I leave the door to when
Mhm.
I get back to the door, and it's
Huh.
the exact mile, so,
That's pretty solid.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, I mean, the neighborhood that main not the big hill down there, but the
Mhm.
main hill where you can go
Oh, that
down.
big one along the main road?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that I run up that,
Okay.
at a certain
Yeah,
point, and at first was walking it, now I'm like, I can jog up
yeah,
it. I'm trying to get to the point where I can, like, maybe put a little bit
yeah.
into the tank and try
Mhm.
to sprint at it, so,
And
but I've drastically cut my mile, I'm at, like, a 10:44 now,
yeah,
which, I mean, at the beginning of the year, they were, like, 12, 13, 14 minute
yeah.
miles, so,
Mm, yeah, my mile time today was a 10:50, but
mm,
what really killed me was this hill that I ran.
yeah,
As soon as I started running, like, it started off downhill, but it was immediate uphill, and it was a
yeah.
much steeper
Just
uphill.
chugging. Well, and I mean, to give yourself a little bit of credit, I mean, last night we had our first
Yeah.
softball game. That's
He's
why I'm
repping the
wearing the
yeah.
jersey. We'll definitely have Unk on to,
Oh, yeah.
after the season's
Yeah.
done and talk about some stuff. Um, but dude, yeah, I was pretty tired this morning.
Mhm.
You had a pretty good game pitching on the
Yep.
mound, not so good in the batter's box, but we're not here to
I
talk
had a
about
solid hit,
that.
and then that other one, I should have been called safe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
and
Yeah, and then the strikeout.
the bullshit call of a
Yeah,
strikeout that he
that
never called
that
for me.
that's what, dude. I was like, that's one. So anyway,
Yeah, but
but
yeah,
yeah, I woke up I was a little tired this morning.
I showered and went straight to bed.
Yeah.
Like, I got my work stuff ready, showered,
Hmm.
and then, like, woke up, threw on my shit. I woke up 30 minutes late than what I wanted to wake up at. I wanted to wake up at 3, get to the park at 3:30 or,
Mm,
like, on the road at 3:30,
sure.
but I got there at 4 and then, did my stretching. So, like, I wanted to go a little bit farther. Like, I was feeling good enough that I probably coulda hit 2 miles of running.
Hmm. But just run out of
Yeah,
time.
just ran out of time. Like, I need to get back, shower, get work clothes on, make
Hmm.
coffee, eat food,
Yeah.
and that's how these first couple weeks are gonna be, is that, like, they're not extreme distances. I think the max I want to hit this week is 4 miles. At least running.
So you're going to bed way earlier now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably after this, I'm going straight to bed. So
Wow.
yeah. Um, and then this weekend, I'm gonna walk a half marathon.
Hmm.
I just want to get the low impact endurance up
Sure.
and miles underneath. And I was talking with my brother about my ideas, and he was like, "That's honestly the smartest way to handle
Mm.
6 months of training for a 50-mile race. Is that like you go that distance, low impact, and then build yourself up to that part and run it."
I feel a lot better hearing you because whenever
Yeah.
you first came to me, I was sitting there like, this guy's gonna get his fucking, he's gonna get
No,
himself rhabdo real fucking quick.
no, yeah. I'm taking it nice and slow. Like I
Yeah,
think next week the max I want to run is probably 6 miles.
and throughout the entirety of the
Of
week.
next week, yeah. Well, like
Well, so we got Easter.
in one sitting, yeah. For
Oh, in
like
one
one run.
sitting.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
I think meant like if you tracked
That
all
whole
the
week.
miles that
No,
whole week, 6 miles. I was like,
no.
buddy, you might.
Yeah, no. Like today I only ran 1.5 or
Mm,
almost 1.6.
mm,
Tomorrow I'm gonna try and run 2.
mm,
The next day 3,
mm.
4, and then only stay at 4.
Do you think you're gonna lose a little bit of muscle mass?
I probably am. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I definitely am.
yeah,
But that's also why I'm still like incorporating some lifting too, because I
mm,
need to keep some strength.
yeah,
Because overall, like the balance of your body is what helps out with running. And
mm,
that's what I learned from when I was running all the time in the army. That
sure,
I also failed at doing it too, but
mm,
I learned from my mistakes. So yeah, it's gonna be a whole lot of core workouts and hip flexors
yeah.
because I found my hip flexors are the worst. So
I'm always working on my hips, man.
I'm gonna get that monkey fist thing to hook onto a dumbbell
Oh, sure, sure, sure. Yeah,
and just like single leg ups
yeah,
just on the hip flexors. Oh, it's gonna be brutal. But
yeah.
yeah, I know that it's gonna suck
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be terrible, but I need the discipline to get this shit done. And I
Sure.
set up my mile markers of what I need to achieve. And by when I hit month 5 on that Saturday, I want to walk 60 miles just to
Gotcha.
go over that 50 to get that endurance in.
Well, and by then you should be able to time out. Like, all right,
Yeah,
this is so roughly the 60 miles of my walking pace. It should cost me
yeah,
about, I don't know, what do you think? Probably,
yeah. And
I
then
don't know what you think. That's probably like if you're walking it, I don't know your pace,
it's gonna be
potentially
almost a
like,
full day.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like
It's gonna be
10
like
miles.
17 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 10 miles, excuse me, 10
And
hours.
so it's gonna be like wake up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
and just walk.
Are you doing like treadmill for that? Or are you just gonna
I'm gonna
do
find a trail. I
just
need to find some place that's realistic to what I'm gonna be running in.
yeah? I mean,
And
what you could do is Pavio Creek, man. That place it goes,
oh yeah,
it
I
goes and
know.
goes and goes. And I mean, you could walk on if you, especially
Walk out 30 and then walk back
and then if you,
30.
especially in some areas having that piece on you. Like
Yeah,
there's sometimes you're like I was on a bike and I was like, I want to pedal a little faster to
yeah.
get out of this
No,
bitch.
yeah. I'm definitely keeping the peace on me.
Yeah.
And I even said it to the raccoon today, like, these bullets aren't meant for you. Like, this is
Yeah.
meant for someone threatening my life.
But
You're an animal,
yeah.
not meant for you.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
sorry, I
yeah.
a lot to talk about. I'm gonna leave a lot of that to you and
Yep.
your thing. So check that out. We're not sure quite on the schedule for that,
I'm thinking
but
like every 2 weeks as
every two
well.
weeks, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe kind of like staggering time to do it. So
Mhm.
like, yeah, you're still getting content weekly,
Yeah.
but yeah, so cool. You want to talk about first game?
First
I'll
game.
let you talk. I'll let you start it off because
S-
you're pitching.
So yeah,
Um,
that first batter I had,
well, hold up. Talk about
the wind. The
yeah.
wind was terrible. And that first batter I walked mainly because the first two pitches,
Which so here's the thing with co-ed. I was like, I want to let you talk about, but in co-ed in our league, if you walk a male batter, the ladies have the
opportunity to also
to
take
also
first.
take first. But if
The
they don't,
the dude still goes to second.
which I hate that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Um, a just kind of like yeah, to me, I was like, okay, like they were taking that stuff and
Mhm.
they weren't doing the stuff for what we were doing. Where
Yeah.
like, hey, if it's 3-1,
They gave me one courtesy swing. One dude did. That was my
yeah,
strikeout. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, no one else. Like our
Yeah.
team were like, hey, we want it. We don't want. Well, some of the team.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, towards the end, you can see the girls like, dude, like, because we just kept getting walks.
Yeah.
for us, and that's what helped us, just score a
Mhm.
lot. But yeah, I didn't like that first coming
Yeah.
out the first batter takes his walk off of the first, and it's like, dude,
Yeah.
especially like you're still trying to warm up, get into the rhythm
Well,
of the
yeah,
game,
and, like, the
and
first
then
2
now you got first and second with no
yeah,
outs.
the first 2 pitches literally were looking good, and the dude, like, I saw him cock back and then just drops dead
Yeah.
right in front of the plate. I'm
Because
like,
what would you say those wins were? Dependent, it
30
would
mile per hour
range.
gust.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they would range.
It was sitting at about 10 to 12 and then gusting
The
up to 30 something.
yeah,
Some a little bit heavier than 30, but they were more sporadic than the
yeah,
yeah. Um, but yeah, once I figured out the wind, which I figured out after the first batter, I
mhm,
was doing just fine
yeah,
pitching. And then my first at bat, I was like, I noticed everybody walking, and I'm like, all right, cool. The odds of her hitting 2 strikes, little to none.
yeah.
So I'm
Because
just
what
gonna sit here.
that was in the first inning.
Yeah,
Because yeah, she went through our entire lineup in the first,
yeah.
and then I think the second inning
They
they
switched.
switched,
Yeah.
and yeah, I got walked on, but I mean,
I just
when
sat
I was
there.
at 3-1, I swung at the
Yeah.
pitch because I was like,
You want to hit.
I want to hit,
It was just way
and
outside.
then it was way
Yeah.
outside. I was like, all right, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking lean. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
try to make a play off of it. So just
And my first strike that they had on me definitely was above the knees.
yeah.
I was just like,
They're like, all right.
yeah, I'll let you have that one.
I saw that one and to me, I was like, okay, I think he's, he wants to get the range and see like kind of where he's sitting in the
Yeah.
batter's box. And
And then that next one, like I watched it go below my knees.
oh,
And
I
then
did
he
too.
called a strike
I did too.
and I'm like, I didn't look at him. I just walked away because like
But I
from
was
all the
on,
years, and especially since I'm pitching, I
yeah,
want him to
be
treat me,
fair.
yeah, be
Yeah.
fair. So I didn't say anything to him, but then I walked past my lady and I was like, that was low.
Yeah.
And then walked in like that was
Yeah, because
he didn't
I was behind your lady on deck when and I was just like,
yeah,
yeah, that was bad.
yeah,
And then he got me on a strike call that I was just like, damn, that was really low.
yeah.
So that's why when I think
You
my
almost golfed on one.
so yeah,
Yeah.
that I could well so when I got into that fielder's choice,
Mhm.
it was because it was really low, and
Yeah.
I was taking a golfing swing at it because I
Yeah.
was like, I don't want to get called
Mhm.
on it because I think I had
Yeah.
already had like foul or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was upset that I had, I think, one fielding error and then one throwing error. But the throwing error, I'm giving myself a little bit of grace because that
Yeah.
win definitely
Oh, it
brought
definitely
it
carried
over.
it.
And I was
Yeah.
like, fuck.
Yeah.
But that
Um,
fielding error, I was pissed about because I think it was the first one. I think it was in the second inning.
yeah.
And
It was like the first one hit to you.
yeah, his first one hit to me, just shit pissed down my
Yeah.
leg. Just
I was scared,
wasn't
don't know what
ready for the
happened.
moment. At least I ate it, and they only went to
Yeah.
first. And then after that,
That same inning though, I had that screamer
yeah,
come straight at me
hmm
and like
I was telling Joe, I was like, he's awake, he's awake.
well, like, dude, I honestly just closed my eyes and put my glove out in front of me,
Yeah,
and I felt it hit, and like it hit right here, and I thought this ball had to fly up. So I immediately like looked up
yeah,
and like I bring out my arm like this to try and find it,
yeah.
and I'm like, got
For
that.
me,
Yeah, I meant to do
as
that.
a conscientious observer, it looked like you brought your hand up for like defense, like "oh shit,"
Yeah.
and he caught it, and you're doing the thing where you're like "oh," and then
Where's the ball?
yeah, I can see you like trying. I was like, "damn, all right."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, every time I pitched and like those screamers come at me, I just
mhm.
put my glove
Yeah,
there and just
just
hope for the
wherever
best.
it would be.
It's just like just hope for the best. And
Yeah,
like there was like a couple when I was in the army playing that like it was like an ice cream scoop catch that
hmm
I just like just
just
barely
barely.
snagged.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I caught that.
hmm
I was like, oh, I
I
meant to do that.
I was happy off of my double, even though like, dude, the fielders. So I hit a double. And the fielders, I didn't want to slide in, or I
Hmm.
would have been safe by a mile. So I ran
Yeah.
it. I slowed up, and I touched the base, and then he slapped the tag on
Yeah.
me, and they're like saving. They're like, "Oh, bang bang play, bro! You're lucky that he called it for you." And I was like, "What are we talking?" I
Yeah.
looked at the guy. I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I was safe by a mile, bro." But dude, yours, I was
I
like,
could have
"Damn,
I could have made it a triple but like I was kind of being safe just in case.
No, I'm saying when you got
Oh,
called out at first.
oh yeah,
That one was bad. That
that
was
one was
bad because
bad.
I was sitting there. I was like, you could hear the
My
bum
foot,
bum.
my
Yeah,
foot hit the bag, then the ball
yeah.
hit the yeah,
Mhm.
and I'm just like,
But that guy wasn't like. So here's the thing. I will say, rec league.
yeah,
You
you
know,
don't expect
I don't
top
expect
tier.
him top tier.
Yeah,
What I will say is just do your job. We're
don't be
paying
Angel
you.
Hernandez.
Yeah. You know, have a little bit, we're paying you
Yeah,
to do this.
both teams are paying him. Let's just
Yes. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Not our teams. We're paying you to
yeah,
win. But yeah, I mean, their team, dude, they took leads off of first and second.
yeah,
They were running as soon as you were throwing the ball, and
mhm,
they never called
yeah.
anything. And me and Joe were like, I was talking to Joe about it. Um,
And that was when the ball got hit to you
Yeah, that
too.
was. I was talking to Joe because I was like, hey, can we take the leads off of first? And he was like, no. And I pointed over to her. I was like, she's leading off of first.
Yeah,
And then, yeah, next thing I know, I hear the bat hit, and
yeah,
I just instinctively look, and it's bouncing towards me. I was like,
yeah.
fuck. And then I didn't put the glove down on the ground all the
Mm.
way, so it's fine. It's fine.
My ground out, it was dead center until the wind grabbed it, and then it hit the tip of my bat.
Hmm.
Like I was watching it all the way through, and then I just watch it drift. I'm like, oh god,
Yeah.
and then I feel it off the tip. I'm like, I
For
need to run.
for your hit that you got on, I don't remember it super well. Was
It went over right center's head.
well,
The wind carried it.
and then that's right.
Yeah,
And they had the lady on first, and that's why
mhm,
I was telling you just do two because I could
yeah.
see you wanted to do
Oh
three,
yeah, and I
and you were
looked.
chugging, and I was just like, dude, she's not going fast enough. She
Yeah,
ended up scoring,
yeah.
but you
I wasn't
just
sure if she was gonna stop,
I didn't either,
and I didn't want to like get halfway down
and then get
and then have
yourself
to
in
turn. Yeah,
trouble. Yeah.
and so that's why, like, I kinda, like, looked, and then I thought about it, and then, "Nope, I'm coming back to second." Like,
Hmm.
I'm not giving even though
Did you even? I didn't. You were talking about bringing the mics. I didn't ever
I
saw you.
brought him out, but it
Oh,
was so
oh, the
windy,
wind. Yeah,
even with the wind protectors,
yeah,
it would not have helped.
yeah. That's fair.
And, yeah, I also dude, I had an error too. That slow dribbler to my right,
That one, I mean,
I touched it, and I definitely, like, coulda leaned out a little bit more.
but for you, that's not an error. I think for that, that's just one of those ones. That one's not an
Yeah,
error. You know what I mean? Now, if you did feel that and you threw it to first and it was a bad
and
throw,
dropped it. Yeah,
then that would be an error.
yeah,
But I mean, Joe ended up getting to it and
and made the out, yeah,
threw it out. And the dude, he had some wild throws too.
yeah.
But I think some of that was the wind. Um,
And someone was just, like, getting
some
back into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and that was the thing. Me and him were having fun, and that's what we kept saying. Is like we're just here to have
yeah,
fun. Like we don't care if we do. Like we're not trying to go out there out of our way to make mistakes,
mm-mm,
but like we're gonna have fun. We were talking shit the whole time,
yeah.
so it
When
was
I
a
was
lot
on
of fun.
second and the catcher overthrew the pitcher, I, like, went out and then
Yeah,
I got down on my stance like, "I'm gonna get it."
yeah. I also saw the one where I think they did that to you, and the ball was rolling towards you, and you like stood on the base, you're like, ah!
"They're gonna tag me!"
So I'm kind of bummed that we have to wait a whole like because it's not
A
this
whole
next
2
Sunday,
weeks,
yeah.
yeah, and
But
I might be out of town. Let's pray I don't.
yeah.
Hopefully it's a one-day job, and it's
Hmm.
only there on Saturday. Um, but yeah, like, I really hope I'm back in town because that's also the same day of Star Wars Episode 3 re-release in theaters.
But the Heart Ventures electric service
Let's show them the back.
club.
Is, 1-0. Oh, yeah. And I love that you went with the Vaughn number.
That's not the intention was to go
Yeah,
Vaughn,
Aaron Donald.
but Aaron Donald,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Coulda had you out there at pitchers, then that wild
And
thing.
I don't know if I could pitch. I don't got that
Dude,
backhand.
it's all you gotta do is just underhand toss,
Yeah.
and it's like playing cornhole.
Yeah.
That's honestly what I chalk it up to, is that I'm playing cornhole,
Mm,
I need to get in the hole.
hmm,
Like, I need in
yeah.
the hole to win right now.
Hmm.
Anything less, I lose.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I mean, yeah, your first game pitching, or at least for us. I mean,
only 1 walk?
one,
1 walk,
no,
1 K?
you had more than one walk. So I know you had one in the first.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a couple
I had
different
2.
times
Yeah, I had 2 then.
that,
Yeah,
and then the other team took the second
yeah,
walk. Um, but yeah, I'm not mad about mine. I mean, I was technically 1 for 2, double fielder's choice, and then 2 walks.
yeah,
Um, and then I think I had just 1 run in
yeah.
because any of the other times I was,
I was 1 for 3
yeah.
with a double. Leadoff double too, I'm fairly certain.
I think mine was also a lead off. Either mine was a lead off or there was no one on, and there was like
Yeah.
one or oh, I think that's what it was. It was, I think, 1 or 2 outs, and oh, you know what happened? Your lady got that inside the park.
Oh, yeah,
And that's
yeah,
what happened. That's why, yeah, I think there's like either 1 or 2 outs. So
yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't shout that one out.
I forgot, honestly.
You're like, this ain't about her. It's about me.
Well, I mean, fair, but
Yeah.
also I was also just trying to keep somewhat of just us
Oh,
more than anything.
I'm
Yeah,
a team guy.
yeah,
You gotta
fair
shout out the
enough.
team. I think we should have went with some more lights. We're getting just a little dark in here, but it's
Yeah.
fine.
You're like you have this yellow glow on
Yeah.
you right now.
There was a best viewer on. Oh, is that a? Is that a?
Can I see this?
I don't know.
Uh,
Some sort of thing on the
oh,
string.
it's a bot.
Oh, it's a bot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing special.
All right. Well, with those two personal agendas out of the way, where would you like to start? I know since
Um,
we've last talked, March Madness, OV, just recently UFC
yep.
3, I think 314, which I watched the entirety of
Hmm.
that. Baseball season's fully
Yep.
underway.
I've been
Where
trying to
the
catch games here and there.
yeah,
Me and my lady found a new TV show to watch, Reacher, ever since I got Amazon Prime
sure,
again.
yeah,
And so we've been watching that. But once that's done, back to watching movies and baseball games.
mm,
Um, but yeah, we watched March Madness, watched the championship game, and like I almost was about to text you like, I know you complain about like the fouls and whatnot. Dude, they were playing physical
mm,
the whole game. Like it wasn't up until like the last 2 minutes they started calling like the pussy shit.
mm,
And I was extremely happy with how they let that game play out
mm,
up until the end.
up
Or
until
like
the end.
or just before the end. But like I mean, Florida was already gonna win.
And but didn't wasn't it one of the things that God, it was it's not Auburn. Who the fuck was it?
Houston.
Houston, yeah. And it was like the guy he jumped to do a shot, didn't do the shot, and then what that was
Yeah, that was
considered an up and down
so like
violation or whatever the fuck.
he went up for the shot and like realized he didn't have a shot because someone's hand was right where the ball would be. So
Yeah,
he tossed it down, which is the right move,
yep.
but
But
there
he
was
can't
no
touch
other
it.
yeah, he can't touch it, so another one of his players has to grab it.
Yeah.
And like that dude was supposed to be their best shooter,
Mm-hmm.
and he was not hitting anything that night.
Mm,
That could have been a good way for him, like redemption, like all these missed threes, like
yeah.
could have been clutch threes. He could have came back and tied up the game for them
Mm,
if there wasn't a defender there. So like it's either a blocked or a missed screen or something like that to block that defender and let him get the open shot, or it's just good defense on Florida's part.
mm,
And I'm gonna chalk it up more to good defense on Florida's. Like they knew who the ball was going to. We need to stop him,
yeah.
and they did that.
I had someone told me that that ending was one of the most dramatic endings to a sporting event of all time, and I was like, I don't agree with
I
that.
know.
I think it was definitely like it's a little heartbreaking
Yeah.
for Houston.
And for that player, like
Yeah.
he has to sit there for the next 2 weeks and see this put up on like the
It doesn't really go down like the
yeah,
rest of his life.
yeah.
Was he a senior or
I think
junior?
he was a senior, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things. I
It's gonna
mean,
follow him and like
yep.
people are gonna say shit like let's say he does good in the pros and he's on some random podcast and they bring up that shot and he's gonna like
He'll probably do like as a
yeah,
if he say down the line he becomes like a NBA Hall of Famer, he's probably is it's gonna be one of those things that he probably says that eats at him, and he
yeah,
but at the end of the day, like I think he
yeah.
can die happy.
No, yeah. Like I mean he number one seed, made it all the way through,
Mm,
survived, which is pretty rare for March Madness. Like I think the amount of times there's been a top three team in the final four, or like all three through one. is very small. Like
Well,
normally there's
they said the last time it was like the final four were all ones, and
like
then
2012.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then the last time it was like a one-on-one was like
Yeah.
2009 or
Yeah.
something like that.
So it's
So
been some time
yeah, I mean,
and it happens
very
very
rare.
little.
Yeah.
So I think it would have been more dramatic if it was like a 12 seed and a 1 seed
Mm,
and the 12 seed was winning and the 1 seed had the last shot
mm,
and then that happens to him. Like that same exact play happens to him and the 12 seed ends up winning.
mm,
That's heartbreak.
yeah.
And also you could flip-flop it too. Like the 12 seed has the last shot to tie it up and that what ends the game for them.
Mm,
Yeah, like that would have been drama. Especially if they had like a really tough like road to the final four,
mm,
somehow sneak in with like a buzzer beater in the final four, and then this is how the game ends for them.
yeah.
Yeah, like goosebumps just thinking about
Mm,
being in that position.
yeah.
And then yeah, just thinking about it.
Well, Florida and Gainesville is just tearing itself apart,
Yeah.
trying their best to be good Philly imitators. Because I think, but they're kind of doing it better. I think I saw somewhere that it was like a college dorm, and they had like it was like a cul-de-sac, I believe, and they had like all this furniture
Mhm.
on fire in the middle of it, and like they're like an angry mob around it, and there's fire trucks trying to get in, and they won't like
They don't want they're
they
blocking their
yeah they're
way.
blocking it in. So yeah, you know,
Philly 2.0.
yeah, to Philly 2.0.
Even though I think Buffalo, at least Buffalo football, can be just as rambunctious as Philly.
Well, I think they don't go out destroying.
Public property.
Yeah, they just destroy their tables.
Yeah.
I don't really
And
see
their
them.
bodies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only thing.
Yeah.
What else?
So, Ovi,
Yeah, yeah.
Holden, greatest player,
So let's. Well, no, he's not the greatest player of all time.
not the greatest.
That's still
Gretzky,
that's still Gretzky because, like, yeah, he surpassed Wayne Gretzky's goal, like all time
but not
scoring,
assist
not
and
an assist, and I think he did it in less games,
okay.
which, or I think the same amount of games is where so
Ovi,
the
yeah,
he did it. He tied the record in one less game, and then he broke it on the same number of
yeah,
games. And don't get me wrong, Alex Ovechkin is the greatest player of
yeah,
our generation of all time. You still got to go Gretzky,
mhm,
just because of all the other accolades and accomplishments and records that he holds.
mhm.
What I don't appreciate, and I don't know if you saw this, they had PK Subban on. I can't remember what show it was, but it was with Shannon Sharp and
Shannon Sharp.
who's the other guy? Fucking the loud black guy. I know that's not very specific, but um, God, what is his Stephen A. Smith?
Steve, okay.
And they were comparing the greatness between LeBron James
Oh, dude, I
and
saw that clip.
Ovechkin, and I was like, dude, those you cannot compare those
No,
two. You cannot compare
he
those two.
Ovi missed like what 12 games,
35 games, I think, in his entire career.
while LeBron has missed over like 80 to 100.
Yeah, and I think they play the same amount of games. I think it's
Yeah,
both 82, and the physical. If you're reading on paper, like between the amount of
yeah,
points and all that stuff, you're like, oh wow, like cool that
yeah.
King James. But when you look at the two sports,
Mhm.
how the fuck can you sit there with a straight face and say that LeBron
Fuck no,
it's just one of those
absolutely
things that
not.
yeah. Like here's the thing, I know LeBron gets a lot of shit now, and it's kind of the Tom Brady effect
Yeah.
where he's doing so good and he's been
I don't
doing
even
it
think
for
it's a
so
Tom Brady
long.
effect. It's so like
How would you describe it?
he plays really hard in the regular season, and
Mhm,
if he knows they're making it into playoffs, injury to
mhm,
heal up and make sure he's ready for it all,
mhm.
and then goes hard, but then they always fall short in the playoffs.
Well, I would say because he has a few rings to his name. I mean, if you
He
look at
has
Alex
3
Ovechkin, I
rings,
think Ovechkin only has one Stanley
yeah,
Cup to his name.
but in the conferences that he played in, they were not difficult.
And the thing I'll say too, usually when LeBron wins those rings, they're on a
Dream
super
teams,
team
yeah,
of sorts.
yeah.
Yeah. One second.
He's on dream teams, and it's just like this is not all LeBron carrying the team. It's not. There's always someone else helping him out. Like Ray Allen helped him out big time in LeBron's first championship game.
Dwayne Wade.
D Wade, Chris Bosh. I'm blanking on some of the other names because I watched that game. Like I watched that game 6
Mhm,
where Ray Allen hits the corner three to win the game,
mhm,
drive a game 7, which ends up winning them
yeah. But the thing
over
that I
the
would say is
Spurs.
I think unfortunately LeBron did not ask to be a part of that conversation.
No.
That was between Stephen A, Shannon Sharp, and PK Subban. And the thing I hate about it too, it was just PK Subban versus
Mhm.
Shannon. And, like no one was either mediating. It
Yeah.
was 2-on-1, and the stuff that they were saying just wasn't any good points as to
No.
why LeBron's legacy, and I think they both have good legacies. I don't think that's
Oh
in
yeah.
question. But when
I
you're
don't. Yeah.
comparing the athleticism and dominance in the sport, like who generates more fear,
Yeah.
Alex Ovechkin or LeBron James? And
Hmm.
eh,
Ovi.
I think Ovi is, yeah, he's definitely, and I
Yeah.
mean up there for most dominant of all time
Yeah.
in hockey. I
Um.
mean, because you got Gordie Howe, you got Jaromir Jagr, you got Ovi, you got Gretzky, you got Hall. Like those are all great when it comes to hockey. And I think, with how long hockey's been going on, especially just the physicality of it, you just can't compare those
Yeah.
two. I mean, when you talk about greats in basketball, it's Kobe, it's Jordan, you got yeah, LeBron James, you got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Yep.
and I mean, I'm gonna put in Larry Bird just to give him another name.
Yeah.
But
You could also throw in like he's a little bit undersung, but Hakeem Olajuwon.
but the thing I was gonna say
But
with those points is like they only have like really the big three is Kareem, Jordan, and LeBron. I think
yeah.
those are the in the GOAT conversation.
Hmm.
And I think most of it revolves around Jordan.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. It definitely does.
yeah. And I
Around
think a
Jordan.
lot of it is, I mean, you know, fans are very much what can you do for me lately?
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things that they did
Yeah.
why bring up LeBron? You know?
And like there's definitely two other players that are being a whole lot more dominant than anybody in history, actually. Jokic, so like one of the memes that I put in,
Yeah.
which watch live streams. Jokic is the first player who's not a point guard to clinch averaging a triple double. So that means he's getting double digit points, double digit rebounds or assists, or any, but he's getting double digits in 3 different categories.
Oh.
First player that's
So
not a point guard.
he's like the Angel Reese of the NBA.
And then Jokic,
Because isn't that her big thing is the triple double stat
yeah, or a double double stat,
something?
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Luca is now the ninth, has the ninth most games in Lakers history with 45 points plus in Lakers history, and he has not been with the Lakers as long as LeBron.
Mm,
And he's tying Kareem right now.
mm,
Um, there was LeBron has passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for second place on the NBA's all-time games played list.
gotcha.
So like he is setting records
Yeah, of
and
course.
whatnot. I do also say that Kareem played college first and then went pro.
Mm.
LeBron went straight out of high school to pro.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Him and Kobe, I think, were the first two really big names to actually do it. Like there were some other dudes that came out of high school straight away, but
Yeah.
they just kind of sizzled out right away.
Because one of those things are like, oh, they need to go through
Yeah.
college and get that.
Yeah. But like a lot of the other greats, they played college ball first
Mm,
and then went pro. And then they still hold the records for games played,
sure.
points in a season. He's been doing it straight from, which also props to him. He's been doing it since he's 18,
Yeah.
which
And
is,
I mean, the most physical thing in basketball, this is coming from a novice. I barely watch
yeah,
it. I don't really like it. The most physical thing is the running.
yeah.
That's a lot of running.
Basketball is not as physical as it used to be in like the
Yeah,
early 2000s and
100. And that's
90s.
the thing I was gonna
Yeah,
those games with Kareem, Kobe, like
Yeah,
all those games were way more physical.
and, like, Michael had to play against probably one of the toughest divisions at that
Mhm,
time in the East. Like, the Detroit Pistons were known for being brutal on the court, and
mhm,
they always ended up playing against them every time in the semifinals,
mhm.
and every time it was a fucking blood match the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, and Michael's just out there scoring 35 points easy
Mhm.
plus, and it's just like while he's getting fouled heavy,
Yeah.
and it's just like it is blatant fouls and stuff like that, and like Charles Barkley played on the Pistons, and this is
Mhm.
why they give Barkley a lot of shit about never getting a ring.
Mm.
But like also look at the competition he was always playing against in the years he was playing.
Yeah.
The only time he was actually in the finals, they played against the Houston Rockets when Hakeem Olajuwon won his ring.
Mhm.
And so like yeah, he made it there finally, the 1 year Jordan's done in his conference, and then immediately lose in the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I wanna change, but I love the respect that they had in hockey.
Oh yeah,
Wayne
100%.
Gretzky was at both of the games where he tied it and then when he took it
Mhm.
over. And they asked him about it, and he was like, "No, I'm glad it happened, and I wanted to be here because whenever I took over Gordie
Yeah.
Howe was there, and he shook my hand afterwards."
Mhm.
And I think he was like, "If anybody ever does pass Ovi,
Yeah.
he should be there, and he should shake that guy's hand
Mhm.
and congratulates him."
And like
Which,
I always
that's gonna be a long time. There's
yeah,
there's a big gap between him and the next couple active
yeah.
guys. I think like Sidney Crosby's up there.
Mhm.
But I think it's one of those things that there's like a
And
two
Sidney
or three
Crosby's
hundred.
been in the league probably close to what Ovi's been at.
Yeah. I think there's probably someone closer.
Mhm.
But yeah, Ovi was a first of all pick. And I think it's 20 years ago, 2005.
Yeah,
So
because I remember starting to hear like when I was paying more attention to sports instead of
mm,
Star Wars and Legos.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I got to see him play really early on,
yeah,
but it's one of those things that, like, when you're a kid,
you
you
don't
don't fully
realize
understand,
the
like,
greatness you're
and
watching.
that's, like, all the people cheering for him, and you're just like, "What's going
What's up with
on?"
this Crosby dude?
Well,
Like,
I got to
yeah,
see, Ovi play
yeah.
in, DC.
And like that was me when I got my signatures from these Hall of Fame players
Yeah, on the
on
Steelers.
the Steelers.
Yeah,
And like as a kid, like I watched them play and I knew who they were and I knew
yeah.
I liked them. Like
I
I
got more war memorabilia signed, like, so not I guess not war, but, like, so you got Brian Zins.
yeah,
So if you read some of those books, like this the what is it? The Sons of Our Father, Helmet
yeah.
for a Pillow, all of those are signed by the
And I
authors.
Robert Lecky,
I believe so.
that is wild.
Yeah, a lot of those from just from,
Oh no, actually that's Eugene Sledge, Helmet for My Pillow.
but I mean, if you like, so
Prince
from you see where
Brown.
the Brown
Yeah.
book, starts,
Mhm.
all the books to the left of that are
Yeah.
all signed by the authors, if I remember correctly.
So you have Band of Brothers signed by Stephen Ambrose.
I believe so.
That's pretty
Those are all, like, my grandparents, and unfortunately, they're just getting to that age. And those are all books that, I don't have those books just for decoration. My plan is to read
yeah.
every single one of those books on the, if it's audiobook,
Mhm.
reading it, but I got
Yeah.
I'm just too brain dead to, like,
Yeah.
sit there in front of a book. I have to have the audiobook and the book. Right now,
Mhm.
I'm reading and listening to Meditations by
Mhm.
Marcus Aurelius because 'cause I've
Yeah.
never done it, and it's just one of those
Hmm.
alpha men
Yeah.
books, so
I'll have to add that to my list because I asked my old squad leader and my fellow team leader.
Mhm.
I was like, I told him about the race, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
if you guys have any book recommendations, Audible's gonna be my new best friend when I'm going on
Sure.
these
For
uh
sure.
these long runs and everything. Like,
Not to stroke him off, but David Goggins, I mean,
yeah, David Goggins, yeah,
less extreme of the circumstances because he was X 100 something
yeah,
pounds more than you, but still kinda
somewhat similar,
similar
yeah,
where, especially when he was in the SEAL team, he was talking about how he mostly was doing bodybuilding
yeah,
stuff, and then he just started running
yeah,
so I think
and
that'd be
like
a good one.
our friend of the podcast, how do I say his name without saying it? He lives in Georgia, Air Force.
Trey.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. I was trying not to say his name, but
I mean, I think his first name's
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
DJ Trey, if you will.
yeah, DJ Trey. All right,
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, he was telling me about David Goggins back in high school,
Yeah.
And, like, he was telling me about how, like, when he was running, like, his legs just literally start like, the muscle was coming off his legs, and he
Yeah.
just
He taped it.
taped up his legs
Yeah.
to hold the
Oh,
muscles
and dude, if
there.
you get the book, he has photos.
Yeah, that's gnarly.
And
And
you could Google the photos too, man.
yeah,
It is nasty. It is real
yeah,
because it's duct tape
yeah,
that he is just putting his stuff back together. And he talks. He's very open about it,
yeah,
and it's one of those things that I think it's not as dramatized because like he's a veteran, but he's not
yeah.
writing about his time in war
No,
where he needs to make it. I think he's just telling it how it is. Like,
yeah,
hey,
his hardships and
I was running my first 100-mile race. I shit myself.
yeah,
I didn't prepare well. I was eating like crackers and donuts. I
mhm,
passed out in my hotel room right
mhm,
afterwards. My girlfriend or wife at the time had to drag him into the
yeah,
bathtub, hose him down because he couldn't
yeah,
do anything
yeah,
after. So yeah, I think that'd be a good
yeah,
book for you to read because then you hear all of his stuff
yeah,
because he talks about a lot of it is the
mhm.
running.
I also have Lord of the Rings too, so that
So you're
because
like running with them when they're
it's
going
like,
to
dude, like, I was making the joke
Alengard or whatever the fuck.
Isengard.
Isengard, yeah.
I made the joke is that, like, I played the Uruk-hai music,
Yeah.
and it's just like, "This is what I'm gonna run
Dun-dun,
to for 14
dun,
hours
dun,
straight."
dun.
I'm just, like, just gonna have a shield and, like, a club, like, in the one Instagram meme of the dude
Yeah.
running on the
Yeah,
treadmill.
yeah,
That's how I'm gonna run the whole and then have they're taking the hobbits to Isengard
yeah.
video. Um, yeah, I was making jokes about that.
Mhm,
Obviously, I'm gonna have to throw it in there at least a little bit
mm,
just for the meme
yeah.
and, like, when I'm actually running the 50-mile race, like, take a quick video as
Mhm.
I'm running and just
Are you gonna buy new shoes before the
I
race?
bought brand new Hokas actually. Like, just before
The thing is, if you're running those consistently, you could talk to your brother about it. But when I was talking to runners and
mhm,
whenever I was getting into a lot of the stuff, 6 months is
yeah.
your average lifespan. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
might need to buy
I'm well
another
aware
set.
that I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to buy another set,
right
but I'm
before
gonna
you got to break them in.
yeah, I gotta break them in, and,
Yeah,
like, I'm probably gonna have to end up buying them at month 5,
yeah.
and then
I liked Brooks more than Hoka's, but that's a personal preference.
like, I've tried Brooks,
Yeah.
not my thing, like,
Hmm.
my basic training boot shoes was Brooks.
Really?
Didn't like them.
Huh.
Hoka's, loved.
Huh.
And,
Yeah.
like, I also got them before they became popular too
Yeah.
in
Cheaper.
2019. It was $75. I went to Scheels, it was 140,
150.
140, 150,
Yeah.
and, like, 1 pair of Hokas on sale are the ones that I have.
So yeah, that's the thing that I'll tell you. I hate to do it. Amazon, and you get those awful colors because
Mhm.
no one wants to buy them, and
Yeah.
you'll get them 10 to $30 cheaper is what I've
Yeah.
seen. But yeah, I used to get them at like a local store here, like a local
Mhm.
running store here. I won't name the name, and it was like $180. I went to Dick's, $150. I went
Yeah.
online, $130, and you're
Mhm.
like, God damn, they really try to fuck you for these
Yeah.
shoes.
I got my first pair of Hokas at Academy,
Yeah.
and, like, that was again, they were brand new, like, hot on the market.
Hmm.
Every my platoon was hyping them up because
Yeah.
we were running on trails and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Dude, these are the greatest trail running shoes ever."
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was like, "Well, I do need new shoes
You're
because
like, I
these
don't see it.
Brooks, yeah, these Brooks are not holding up anymore."
Yeah.
And so I went out to the store, bought some Hokas, and I was
Yeah.
like, "These are honestly
Hmm.
pretty fucking good." Not gonna lie.
Yeah. You want to bring up some of the UFC stuff? We can go over that.
Yeah,
I had a really good time watching that event. Um, I was trying to ask you to come over and watch, but you had some dog stuff, so
yeah, yeah.
it's fine.
It was
I enjoyed it by myself.
dog got fixed. Needed to make sure her stitches weren't coming
Yeah.
out.
Do you have a cone?
We did,
Yeah.
but it was like a little donut, like foam donut thing,
Yeah.
and like this dog is like resilient as shit. Right after her surgery, almost like
Hmm.
probably after her first nap,
Yeah.
like she was jumping up and down couches and everything, running around, and we are just like,
Don't do
"Stop,
that. Yeah.
stop!" We're like trying to calm her down.
Man, when Jules had hers, it broke my heart. She looked so sad and so hurt. Um, I I hated it. I'm debating ever doing it again, but I know it helps with the energy stuff. Even though this dog fucking
Where the hell is MMA?
it might be under
Oh, I
yeah MMA. That's right.
do they have gaming up here now?
Hell yes, sir. Um, yeah. So, Volk,
Oh, Volk was fighting?
yeah, he took his belt back. Storyline going into this, Volkanovski, long time featherweight champ.
Mhm,
Um, he tried to go up and fight Islam Makhachev. It was lost by a decision. I thought he got the nod. He didn't.
mhm,
Anyway, he then I think he comes back down. He fights Yair. Um, wins that fight
mhm,
back. To retain his title. And very watered down. I have this. Some of these little details might be a little wrong, but you're getting the overall
mhm.
story. But Volk's always been a very active fighter.
Yeah,
Um, and he got a very short notice. I think it was like 14 days to do a rematch with Islam Makhachev.
yeah,
So he had to go up and weight. And he got a head kick KO in the first round. I was at work when it happened, and the guy was listening to it on the phone, and he was checking the guy out at the time when I was working, and I was like, "Oh, you're listening to the fight? How's it going?"
mhm,
And because I was watching it, I was like doing the ESPN thing where you can kind of see it, but you're not so up to
yeah,
date. And he goes, "It's already over." I'm like, "Bullshit." He goes, "No, he got knocked out." I was like, "It just started." He goes, "Yeah, dude, he just got knocked
yeah,
out in the first round." And I was like, "Fuck." But that's what happens when you dare to be great.
yeah,
And then I think he took the loss pretty badly.
mhm,
And he's very vocal about it. And he just wanted to get back in there to get his head right. But he fought a very dangerous Ilya Taporia,
yeah,
who you've seen fight. Um, and the guy's just known for having just really strong hands, and Volk got knocked out
yeah,
again. So two bad, devastating knockouts back to back. And I think he did the right thing where he's like, I gotta get my head straight
yeah.
again.
Because I remember after the
Took a year
Poirier
off.
fight, you even said, like, he needs to take a break
He needs to take a
because he
long
took,
year.
about, what, 3 or 4 fights within, like, an 8-month period?
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
crazy amount and I mean, he's in shape, and I mean, he's so fucking good. He is up there for me for like one of the greatest of all time.
yeah.
Um,
Hall of Famer? UFC Hall
easily,
okay.
easily,
First ballot?
easily.
Yeah,
Yeah, easily. As soon as he is eligible, he's gonna get in there. Yeah, took a year off. Ilya Taporia defended his belt against Max Holloway once,
mhm,
which you were there for that
yeah,
fight, and I was talking about that. I was like, Max has because it was right after he got his win for the BMF
mhm,
title and knocked out Max Holloway. That sucked to see
yeah,
too. And then um, he immediately wanted to go up and fight for the title versus Islam, and I think the UFC was like, "No, you only had
mhm,
one title defense in your weight class. You either need to vacate that belt and move up,
mhm,
or you need to do more title defenses." And he vacated the belt, um, at which Diego Lopez and Alexander Volkanovski
yeah,
fought for. Which also, I love Diego Lopez's story. He was like a last minute call up on like a prelims fight
mhm,
um, versus this guy who they just expected him to just get mauled by, and he
mhm,
made it like a really big dog fight. He
yeah,
was throwing up submission attempts. He looks crazy. He's got like this really long
yeah,
bullet, and he ended up losing that fight. But I think everyone just liked it because he
mhm,
he went in there just kind of guns blazing.
yeah,
Well, Diego Lopez just he keeps getting wins and wins. He keeps moving his name up on the ranking,
mhm,
and anybody else in the top five. So number two in the ranking is Max Holloway, who just lost
mhm,
to Ilya Taporia, and he's fought Volk 3 different times.
yeah,
And the last two were convincing losses. The first one was pretty, I think Max did win that fight, but it
mhm,
went to Volk. They had a rematch, and then he
yeah,
lost, and then they fight again, and then he
mhm,
lost. So you can't really throw that guy into the title fight right
yeah,
away. Yair, I believe, is 4 or 5. He fought Volk. Um, he lost. So it's one of those things that like a lot of the fans are like, because like Volk
Mhm.
dominated Yair really,
Yeah.
and it's just one of the things they're like, "Damn, do I really want to see that fight again?
Mhm.
Really wasn't close the first time, and then Diego Lopez, um, so he fights Diego Lopez, and Diego Lopez is like really great jujitsu, and he hits like a cement truck,
Mhm.
and that's the thing. He took a lot of Volk's damage. I think he got dropped once, maybe not. I know
Wow.
he ate a lot of shots. And you're gonna see a little bit online of people like blaming Volk because in the fifth round he just stayed away from him.
Yeah.
Like he didn't want. I think he was up. To me, he was up 4 rounds. Some guys had it 3-1, which
Mhm.
that's still still plausible. And then I think some people had it 3-2, which I didn't,
Yeah.
or 2-2 going in the fifth. I didn't
Mhm.
agree with those. Um, but yeah, he just stayed away from him because I think I mean the in the fifth round,
Mhm.
Diego Lopez still looked like he had still plenty of energy, and
Yeah.
I think if Diego Lopez go back and rewatch this fight, he's gonna hate himself because he
Mhm.
didn't engage as much as he used to, and he
Yeah.
dropped a lot of the weapons. Like
Mhm.
he was really just boxing him.
Yeah.
He was really good with leg kicks in the first round. Just stopped doing those, and he really didn't pick it back up until like the fourth round, which is
Mhm.
where a fourth round a lot of people gave
The Lopez.
yeah to Lopez, which I agree. But in the second round, yeah, Volk got dropped, and I
Yeah.
mean Volk was really bloody, and he just put a video out today on his YouTube channel. And dude, the guy's eyes are so swole up and
Yeah.
he's cut up. But great fight. I think Volk of old is back. And I think he's just gonna get better. But it was one
Mhm.
of those things that I think this is the first time ever that a fighter over the age of 35, he's 36,
Mhm.
won a title fight. It's like one in 17.
Yeah.
So out of 18 fights, like 17 of those guys have
Mhm.
lost.
Yeah.
So it's just like this curse of like, oh, when you're just too old in like
Yeah.
in a smaller
So he broke the
division.
curse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for him. I think he wants to be ready to fight in July, and I'm like, let's pump the brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, let's.
It's like, dog, you've already made this mistake once.
It's
It's
so
like the
he's
Marty
the
McFly. Hey, I've seen this before.
yeah, because that's the thing. He's always down, and
Yeah.
for whenever his first title reign, he was fighting a lot. He was
Yeah.
fighting like 3 times a year. Um,
So maybe like what you'd want to see is like maybe November.
November, December
Yeah.
would be great in my opinion. If he wants to do a quick turnaround,
Mhm.
I would do August, September
Yeah.
timeframe, and then I would fight again in maybe
Mhm.
February, March.
Yeah.
But I'm not his manager. I'm not on his
Mhm.
team. I'm not him. So
Yeah.
he can do whatever the fuck he
Yeah.
wants.
And it's like
Uh,
whatever I say is bullshit
yeah, this conversation goes between you, me, and our
on our
7
audience. Yeah.
viewers that we
Yeah.
average.
Our 7 average.
Yeah. Um, but great fight.
Oh yeah.
I think Dio Lopez, he's still young. He's a great fighter. Probably has to fight 1 or 2 more times, just some like you know, top tier competitors to get his name back in there. But yeah, if he gets in there and he gets some good training, um, yeah, big chance you can see
Mhm.
that guy holding the belt in the
Yeah.
future. The co-main event was that?
I was actually gonna ask,
Yeah,
like,
go ahead.
we're getting close on time here.
Yeah,
Do we want to do our draft live or do we want to do it on the side?
we can do it live. Do you mean like right now or?
Yeah, because like it's getting close to when we need to order.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair. Let me just do the
Okay.
the the main card and then yeah, we'll do that. Michael Chandler got dominated by Paddy Pimblett.
I saw that.
Paddy
Yeah.
Pimblett I think he's back to where he was at when he first got in the
Mhm.
UFC. Yeah, dominated,
Patty the Batty. It was what, second,
dominated.
third round knockout?
Yeah, but dude, I mean, it definitely could have been
It was
sooner.
yeah.
Was ragdolling Mike. And Mike, honestly, he looked like he was having an off night.
Mhm.
But Patty Batty, he's ready for the one of those top 5 guys for
Yeah.
a title, like uh, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Charlie Olives. Those are like
Mhm.
tough tests
Yeah.
that he could really do. Armin Sarukian is another one.
Mhm.
Um, Yair Rodriguez, he fought Pitbull. That guy he used to fight in
305.
yeah,
It's a
he's so
305.
wide. He used to fight in
Golly.
was it Bellator or whatever, but his first fight in the UFC, I think a lot of guys kind of have the same view set where maybe the bright lights of, being
Hmm.
in this promotion, to me it was a kind of a boring fight, not a lot of action
Yeah.
going on. Because I mean, how many? Yeah, like less than 100 strikes, landed, or less than 150 landed between both guys. Bryce Mitchell got submitted and handled by Jean Silva. Um, Jean Silva is one of those like it's under a group of the fighting nerds from Brazil.
Hmm.
They wear glasses.
Yeah.
They're an interesting bunch. I actually kind of like them. Bryce Mitchell's we talked about him before. He was
Hmm.
saying some dumb shit about Hitler. He
Yeah.
thinks the Earth is flat. Yada yada yada. And then the last
And
car.
he wears the camo pants or camo shorts.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was the first one that really had the unique shorts in the Reebok and Venom era.
Yeah.
And then Dominic Reyes, man, got a big knockout, which I'm kind of glad for him. He's one of those guys
Round
that,
one knockout.
yeah, round
That's
one knockout.
huge.
And
Start of the main event too.
yeah,
That's a good way to start off.
this is one of those guys. I think whenever people talk about how John Jones truly is undefeated,
Hmm.
they need to go back and watch this fight.
Yeah.
Dominic Reyes was robbed. I know it's one of those things, oh, he was doing like John Jones was doing coke and partying and he still won. But it's like, dude, if you watch that fight, Dominic Reyes won that fight in
Hmm.
most people's opinions,
Yeah.
just not on the record books. And he's still, he's still young, especially for like a lightweight,
Hmm.
um, or a light heavyweight, excuse me, not a
Yeah.
lightweight. I'm trying to see if it shows his age. I don't think it does. But yeah, big knockout. He used to play football as a defensive back, and
Oh
he
wow.
the guy's huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, good card. I'm slowly getting my feet back to getting all nice and wet with UFC stuff. So on to
Our
Vlogger
draft.
League, Beer Olympics, beer games, whatever we want to call it, so we don't get sued.
So I will take the color. Let's just say you want blue since your jerseys are blue.
Sure, I'll do
And
blue.
then for easier to make it easier, I'm just gonna actually white out these ones
Yeah,
and I'll just take red just to, make it simple. Will Compton did not message us back.
I figured as much.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
All right, so I'll take red, you'll have blue.
Okay.
All right, cool. So I got first pick. I'm gonna go with Greg
Yeah, smart
as my
choice.
first round pick. Uh, wait, red. Yeah.
Um,
Here actually, just so we can. I already know what team you're on.
yeah.
I'll go with a lighter blue just to make it so we can actually read the names.
I think who I wanted to pick first was Tom. That's who I was
He's
gonna
a.
pick first.
You're going Tom?
I'm going Tom. Uh,
Yeah.
Prime
107.
107.
Yep.
Tom, my first pick.
And I think I'm gonna keep the brothers together,
Mm,
and I'm gonna go with Vince as my second round pick.
I'm gonna go TJ.
TJ's out. He is a no go.
Fuck, he is out.
Yeah.
I thought. Oh, that was before we changed it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Ethan then, because I know
Ethan.
yeah, Ethan. He's a good
Yep.
drinker. Um,
Oh yeah, he's a hell of a drinker.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna do wonders for our team in that department.
I'm gonna go with Patty Ice.
I've been told by I'm gonna let you pick him, but I've been told that he is not great when it comes to drinking in games.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
um, I'm gonna go with CJ.
CJ.
Yeah,
Solid pick.
I'm surprised you didn't.
I was leaning it, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
Wrong color, buddy.
Yep. My bad.
You're like, yeah, man, that is a good pick.
Um, hmm, this is tough. I'm gonna go Aaron.
Okay.
I need an anchor for drinking.
I'm gonna take David.
You're gonna take David. That's a good anchor.
Yeah.
Oh, you already okay. Yeah, it's my turn. I'm gonna go Connor.
I'm surprised you're taking him this early. I'm gonna go with Josh.
I'm gonna go Ryan.
I'm gonna go Baby P.
I was leaning between Baby P or Ryan. Oh, wait, wrong click. Hoffmeyer.
I'll take Billy.
And then I guess I'll get Noah.
Yeah. Are those teams even?
I'll have one more.
Yeah.
Um, but so with CJ,
Hmm.
he said he's a go,
Yeah.
but also like I'm not 100% certain if he actually will show up.
It's the same thing with Tom. He's talking about like
Tom
there's
is a go because him and Patty Ice are carpooling.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Patty Ice told me that. So
Okay.
that's why like I was like, all right, cool. I know
Yeah.
Tom's on the board.
How do we feel about these teams? Do you think these are like super even?
So I got two old heads.
Yeah, but the old heads that run
Yeah.
50 miles.
Yeah. But and then I got Patty Ice who
He's
isn't
athletic,
athletic, but
not a solid beer
yeah.
drinker. And that's the thing with the other guys, they're not solid beer
Yeah.
drinkers.
Connor is a good beer drinker. Noah is well, or Aaron is as well.
Yes.
So is Ryan.
Yeah.
And then you got David, who's a solid drinker.
Hmm.
Um, wait, I grabbed Hoffmeyer. I clicked that one wrong. Hoffmeyer's fine as long as there's no liquor.
And
So
one of the things that if Ryshawn
yeah,
does agree, then I would get him.
mhm. I think that's
Um,
fair. Yeah.
yeah.
Will Compton shows up, you get
Fucking yeah, baller.
now. Will Compton will be a coin flip.
Well, why is it a coin flip?
Well, like if the teams are even.
But right now the teams aren't
I know,
even.
but I'm saying
Yeah.
if the teams are even, coin flip. Is that fair?
I would say depending on how the teams look,
Okay.
we'll see.
Um, got you, Josh, David, Baby P, Ethan, solid, CJ, athlete, Tom,
Kind of like hybrid
yeah,
can
hybrid, can
be
drink and can
athlete.
be an
Yeah.
athlete. Yeah. I mean, I like it.
Yeah, I like it. Might be one of those things that later on we might change it up a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Um, yeah, I like it. I think it's pretty solid. And hopefully we can get Raishan in there.
mm,
Has he answered you back at all or
he said he needed to see with his work.
okay,
Man,
that's fair. I know with I'll talk with you about this off the air, so
yeah.
but yeah.
That's the teams.
Yeah.
We'll have a little bit more. I think the next time we're talking about we'll like really break down like kind of
Yeah.
their stats, their attributes, and our
Yeah.
predictions to how these will go.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining the MattCast podcast. I'm Matty Light, joined by my co-host Matty J. And we'll see you guys later.
bye.